It's that time again. It's show time again. Good morning, school. What's going on? How's everybody doing out there today? Welcome to the School of Shred. I'm going to give it a minute here and let some people jump on. Good morning, all you beautiful people out there. If you guys are checking this out, let me know where you're at, where you're located. Throw some fire in the comments today. Let me know if you want to get this week started off hot here at the School of Shred. The one and only, baby. We got some good stuff to talk about today. As I flip through my music notes and get to my show notes here. This is episode 50. Fitty. So we're going to be talking about what to do if you don't have time. Because a lot of us don't have time. And that's a common thing that my clients get into. They're busy. And there we go. There's some fire. Hello. Good morning. A lot of my clients are busy. They don't have the time. I don't have the time. So what do we do when we don't have time, but we want to live healthy lives and we want to be health conscious? That's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to give you 3 points of things to consider that might help you out. And then I'll give you a few things that you maybe shouldn't be doing. And maybe through the process of, some of the clients that I've coached and some things that I've gotten into with them, hopefully it helps you guys out. So again, if you guys are jumping on, throw some fire in the comments. Let me know that you're ready to get this week started off hot. I do want to kind of introduce all those new people out there listening to the show. I've been picking up some new followers and whatnot, some new homies out there. And so I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys are new to the show and the School of Shred podcast, and you're wondering what is this thing that I'm listening to, this is a culmination of everything from diet and exercise, nutrition stuff. I am a personal trainer of 9 years now, so nearly 10 years of experience of real life in the trenches with real people, training them. But we also talk a lot of mindset, and this is about holistic health. And so the idea with this show, the tagline is to help you shred your old and make better your new. Okay, and it's not just about shredding body fat; it's about shredding limitations. It's about shredding old habits that no longer serve you to become a better individual. And so this whole show is geared around becoming a better individual as a whole. It's not just about exercise. It's not just about dieting. We're going to talk about a lot of different stuff. The Shred curriculum at the School of Shred, which is my online health academy that you could become a part of, goes over spirit training. It goes over habitat training, how to detox your habitat and the surroundings that you find yourself in. And then recovery, very important, balancing your nervous system. We have exercise, obviously, that's very important, and diet. And so we kind of hit a little bit of every one of those in this show. So again, good morning, everybody jumping on. What's up? Throw a wave, throw some fire in the comments. Let me know where you guys are at. But if you're new to the show, thank you very much for tuning in. And, this is a full contact participation event. So, ask questions. We do a Q&A every Friday. Typically on Wednesdays, I try to do a little bit of fire and motivation. And then the other days, I'll pick a health topic and we'll get into. And so I really just want to package a lot of the science and the cool stuff on bettering your body and your health that normal coaches would, like I do with my clients. But then also acknowledge the mindset piece and some motivation, not to what I feel is a cheesy level, but a very realistic level, because I'm big on mindset. If you might see all these books behind me, I read every day. I'm always trying to provide my body and my brain with mental vitamins. And so I'm big on that. We focus on this oral nutrition and how we fuel our body. A lot of us, we don't even think about the visual and auditory nutrition that we give ourselves. And if we allow the world and the media to give us our nutrition, my friends, that's a really poor diet. The media is just fear. There's no faith-based hope and courageousness that you're going to see in the media. And I'm very, very strict on that. I don't think it's good for visual nutrition. And so I tune that crap out as much as possible. And I try to focus on mindset a lot myself. So obviously this is a lot of stuff that I found useful, and that's what we get into here. If you want to learn more about the show, you can go to schoolshredpodcast.com. You can jump on the email list for free and receive a free guide, one that I've put together for my high-paying professional clients that I've repurposed now as a thank you for tuning into the show and being a fan. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, and the podcast app, iTunes. So jump on there, The School of Shred, and let's get started. Episode 50. So I don't have time. This is a big one. I don't have time. I have a few clients right now that I'm thinking of that I hear this a lot from. And so it's an interesting space to navigate because a lot of us out there are business professionals, moving a lot of meetings. Your day can be hectic. I've seen what these meetings look like and these said clients' schedules when they show me. It's like back to back to back. A lot of hectic business is done nowadays, and I get that. And so there's a few things we're going to get into about if you don't have time, how do you become more efficient? Like, what's a survival guide if you're a busy person? So the things we're going to talk about is going to be prepping. I'm going to break that down into 3 points. We're going to talk about meditation and how you can create more space by calming your brain. By calming your mind down, you can create the perception of more time and alleviate a lot of anxiety that comes with a busy schedule. Number 3 is going to be protect your nighttime routine so you can recover. Specifically, if you're under a lot of physiological stress, mental stress causes physiological stress. All systems are connected. That's one of the laws at the School of Shred, is that all systems are connected. So we want to be acknowledging this and realize that if we're busy and we're just, very high performing people at work and we're just hustling and bustling, that we need to really protect the way we recover our central nervous system in our body, because we can risk that burnout thing, especially if we're working out really hard in addition to all this. So throw me a flex emoji if you guys agree. So anyway, so that's going to be the 3 we're going to talk about. And then we're going to get into some what not to do. Okay. Like eating for convenience, over supplementing, things like that. So first thing is prepping. Okay. And the first thing I want you guys to acknowledge and kind of, just think about for a second here is the more you prep, the easier it is to execute your plan. So the more time that you take, if you were to take a certain amount of time every week, when you do have the time on the weekends, because you always have the time. This is the thing. We all do this. I don't have time. You're not prioritizing it. And you've heard that before. I'm going to give you some actual action items. But the reality is at some point, you got to get some skin in the game if you want to be successful. The only way to actually get better at something is to do the thing, right? You have to actually get some skin in the game. And that's why when I talk about the things of what I don't think you should do, well, I'm going to explore with you some of these ideas of maybe doing food prep stuff, or, having somebody prep for you is not always the best idea. Getting skin in the game is something I'm personally very big on with my clients. Is it the only way to do it? I'm not sure, but it's my favorite way, is get people in the game. So anyway, when we prep, food prep, we're going to look at three areas of preparation. Okay. Food prep, clothing prep, and scheduling. So with food prep, you can bulk cook. Now, this is a big one. So say on a Sunday night, pour a nice glass of wine, start cooking meat in bulk. So you do a bunch of, you could do like a bunch of chicken or beef, or maybe a little combination of both. You can get some vegetables going. If your program calls for a carbohydrate, depending on where you're at, maybe you do some sweet potatoes or rice. You cook it all up at once. And so you have all this food prepped up and you just store it. I would recommend in glass dishes, not in plastic. There could be xenoestrogens that can mess with your hormonal profile when you're reheating a lot of these plastics. One thing we talk about in Habitat at the School of Shred, detoxing your home. But anyway, so you want to store all that stuff so you have everything cooked in bulk. Okay. You do this while you're doing this, and say you're sipping a glass of wine or whatever it is. It could be tea if you don't drink, whatever. I'm just saying, I'm about balance. If you like to have a glass of wine, not a bottle, and you're just relaxing on a Sunday night, maybe you put on some good music, some soft music, relaxing music, or put on an audiobook. This is a great time to nurture, which is one of the things in the daily grind that my students do every day. It's a great way to nurture your brain. So you can nurture your profession, and get better and learn something about your profession. You can nurture your passion. So one of your hobbies that fills your cup up. If you have an audiobook on something that is you're passionate about, say for me, I really love guitar. If I was listening to, something that was about music theory, it was an audiobook on music or something. Or you're listening to a good positive audiobook, a positive affirmation. So say like right now I'm listening to the book Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill for like the fourth time. That right there, if I'm showering, I'm putting that audiobook on. If I'm in my car, I'm putting that audiobook on. If I'm working out, I might listen to music. But see, if you start to leverage and combine these things, this is how you can create a really positive atmosphere and a very positive life, I've found. For me personally, this is something that I call momentum builders here. And you're stacking all these positive things. You're prepping your food. And you're also nurturing your brain while you're doing this. So you're cooking up food, you got a good audiobook going, it's speaking life into you as opposed to pulling life out of you, like a lot of the default media sources that we get into, do. And so you have, you're nurturing your brain, you're bulk cooking, takes an hour to an hour and a half on a Sunday night. That's going to prep you up for at least 3 days, maybe 4 days. And then you just do like a midweek one again. So that's a great way to do it. That way you're not left with some of the stuff we're going to talk about, which is convenience foods while you're at work at the office and you're trying to order out and getting stuff that doesn't serve your goals long term. This thing is a game of inches. And I personally am a huge fan of make all your meals from home. If you're going to go out and eat a meal out, that's fine. If you want to do that, if you like on the weekends, if you're going to go out with your friends and be social, that makes a lot of sense to me. It's up to you. The decision is yours. Me personally, I would not be eating out several times a week. Number one, even healthy foods are cooked in vegetable oils and polyunsaturated fats, which are prone to oxidation and not good for your cells, not good for mitochondria function long term. There's just a lot of stuff, not to mention, like if you're trying to get a salad and save on calories, there could be a ton of oil or full fat ranch dressing that might provide you with 400 extra calories you didn't even know. There's all sorts of issues that can arise from just getting stuff on the fly, even if it seems healthy. So the best thing for you to do to really hone in your health, and there's a gradient here. What is your goal? Is your goal to gain weight? Is it to lose muscle or not lose muscle? Is it to lose body fat? Is it to just, keep insulin sensitive? There's there's literally endless goals. It doesn't just come down to fat loss, muscle gain. There is health, overall health. And when I'm saying that, this was the reason I bring up like these oils and these polyunsaturated fats is like, I don't care if it's about calories. At a certain point, like we don't want to put things that we know are prone to oxidation and create free radicals in our body into our bodies. If our bodies are a temple and they're like our vehicle, are you going to put the cheapest gas in a brand new Rover that you just got? Or are you going to put premium in it? Put premium fuel in your car. I'm encouraging that. Yes, you can do the calorie thing. It's obviously important, but mitochondria health is important as well. And cellular health is important. So prepping your food at home, you control those variables. And you can also control the calories as well. You know exactly if you're weighing your food, if you're into that thing, good. If you're eating by portion sizes, there's so many ways to do it. It typically is going to be easier and alleviate a busy schedule if you just prep all your food and have your meals ready for the next day. Okay. For the next week, even, you put them in Tupperwares the day before, and then you go to work the next day. You have your lunch, you have your snacks, you have your dinner. If you're at the office or whatever it is, you make your shakes for the week. Prepping in advance allows an easier execution process throughout the week. Okay. It can. And then clothing, laying out all of your workout clothes for the week, laying out all your work clothes for the week. You can do that at the same time on this, say, Sunday night that we're using as an example. You're laying things out. So what you're doing is you're using a couple hours to cook your food, prep your clothes for the week, get everything all honed in. You're maybe listening to something that's speaking life into you, like a good audiobook. You're nourishing your brain. You're nurturing it, nurturing learning. And then the last thing would be you put your schedule together for the week. What are all the meetings that might be conflicting with, say, lunch this week? Maybe that's a day that you try fasting until dinner. Maybe you gotta work around that. Is there going to be any work meetings or dinners that come in that are a conflict with your workout time, right? So if you work out at 5 or 6 p.m. every day during the week, you don't want any conflicts that pop up, right? So if you know Tuesday 6 p.m. you're going to have a work thing, but you haven't really thought about how to schedule your workout, figure it out. Maybe get up a little earlier that day. Maybe go after. Maybe just plan, right? You want to look at your schedule as a whole and go, okay, my workouts are going to be here. These are non-negotiables, and we'll get into how even if you're tired that day, why consistency is important here in a second. But you have your non-negotiables. So here's my workout time. I'm going to eat lunch this day. Okay, this is going to be a really busy day. This day is probably going to kick my ass a little bit. It's going to be real busy. So I'm going to fast that day. And I'm going to basically, I might bring maybe a shake for the later in the afternoon or something if you want to break your fast. Or you're like, okay, that's going to be a water fast type day. And it's like you just kind of plan loosely with the food prep, with the clothing prep. You've kind of done all of that on a Sunday night. You know what you're looking at for the week. And I'm telling you, this creates more time for you during the week, and you're not running around like a chicken with your head cut off. You can calmly watch the storm come throughout the week and then go. And it starts to clear up some of that space, because a lot of our being overwhelmed and feeling like we don't have time, it's a perception thing, and we can control that by preparation. So that's prepping. And then, lay out all your supplements. That goes with food prep. If you're taking supplements, get a little pill jar, lay out all your supplements for the week, throw it in your gym bag, you're good to go. Boom. All right, that's number one. Number two is going to be meditation. So I'm a big fan of meditation. This has changed my life when I share this with clients and, encourage them to do the same. It changes their life. And this is something that you can do every day for at least 10 minutes. And what it does is it allows you to calm your thoughts and not be so reactive in life. And when you calm your thoughts, you create the perception of more time because you're calmer. You can handle more. It is an amazing thing that we should start looking at, especially when we're high performers in business professionals. So slow your thinking, slow your mind down. It creates more time. When you're calm, you can process more info and you're less likely to be overwhelmed. Okay, if you're calmer, you're less likely to be overwhelmed. If you think about people who go to combat and they've seen, really intense, I have buddies who are in the military, really intense things. If somebody comes into an establishment and starts screaming, I had this happen at the gym that I work at, like last year, this guy came in and started tripping out. These types of guys are not going to get overwhelmed. And I'll speak from experience. I'll tell that story if you guys want to hear it. You guys want to hear a story right now about how a guy came in and broke the case at the gym I work at last year? He almost had to be put down in there. So the guy comes in, starts yelling, call 911. Okay. It's like 6 p.m. on a Tuesday night at the gym that I work at. I'm waiting for my client. It's about I would say it's probably 6:25. So my client was coming at 6:30. I'm hanging out. I'm waiting. Story time. Here we go. So I'm hanging out. I'm waiting behind the desk. I'm a jiu-jitsu practitioner. So I've done competitions and whatnot. The guy next to me is working the front. He's a jiu-jitsu practitioner. Now MMA fighter and whatnot. And we're hanging out in there. I work in a regular gym, by the way, not a MMA gym, if you're wondering. So we're hanging out there. My girlfriend, who wasn't my girlfriend at the time, she was there, trains at the same spot. And the guy comes in, starts yelling, call 911. He's got a blood pressure cuff on his arm, like literally just dangling off his left bicep. I'm like, what's going on with this dude right here? Like, he comes in and I'm like, are you okay? And my thing was like, get in a car accident or something. Like, what's going on? You obviously were getting medical attention somewhere. And he's just looking at me like super bug-eyed. And I was super calm. And I remember being like, okay, cool. Like, I'm not anxious and the reason I bring up the jiu-jitsu thing is this is why jiu-jitsu is amazing and competing is amazing, because it gets you in touch with what is a real threat, and you calm down when you expose yourself to intense situations. You learn how to calm down in these types of moments. So I was chill as a cucumber, but this guy starts screaming and he's like, call 911 now. And he starts like slamming his hand and he runs around he's telling me call 911. I go, okay, dude, I'll call 911 because Like I was, are you okay? And he's like, call 911. I go, dude, all right, I'll call 911. And I turn around, I grab the phone, I dial 911, and I'm talking to him. And as I'm doing it, my buddy Tony comes over and he's trying to calm this dude down. And he's like, hey man, you know, chill out. So this dude grabs this bottle like this, like a big metal bottle, and he grabs it on top of the desk and he just starts slamming it down, screaming. Now the whole gym has basically stopped and people are pulling their earphones out and they're like looking at, you know, because this is a scene, right? And this dude's slamming it. And I'm on the phone and they're like, okay, what's going on? I go, he's slamming the bottle. Like he's slamming the bottle. He wants to break something. And then he takes the bottle and he goes from this high desk that's made out of, it's made out of wood, where he's slamming this thing over and over, screaming 911, 911. And he's like screaming. And then he takes the bottle and he starts hitting this glass case. And my buddy, like I'm on the phone and my buddy is like trying to like chill him out. And he's like dancing back. Like, he's like, dude, he's like, chill out, man. And this dude just takes this bottle and tries to start breaking the case that we have all of our t-shirts in. So just amped up. Dude hits it like on the top a couple times. And I'm like, the guy's trying to break our case. And I'm just like all calm on the phone. I'm like, he's breaking it. And then he slammed the bottle through the side, broke the case. And anyway, so it was funny. I was very calm in that situation though. After I realized like, wow, jiu-jitsu has really worked in threat assessment. And, I've done some other stuff, but anyway, this guy breaks the bottle. He goes out, he lays down in the parking lot, like just lays on his back. And anyway, the cops come and, the case got fixed because of insurance, but I had to call the owner and I was like, hey man, somebody just broke your case. And he was like, what? He's like, well, I'm at a play right now. Like I'm in Seattle. And I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. I just had to let you know, like, some guy came in and kind of was on one. And I was like, man, to be a business owner of a gym, like you're not there a lot of the time. And then somebody's got to call you up and let you know somebody's breaking your stuff. So anyway, I almost got subpoenaed to go to court for that because I was like the main witness for it. But anyway, the meditation and not being overwhelmed. And that was just a story about when you learn how to calm your mind, you create, you're calmer in stressful situations. And so anyway, that was an interesting story, right? So, so meditation can help you calm your mind. So if you're really busy at work, it's very nice to help you go through the paces. This has helped one of my clients that I have right now a tremendous amount. The guy puts 12-hour days in, super career oriented, massive respect to him, super hard worker. And, but I'm constantly trying to manage his nervous system, because he's always in fight or flight because he's just grinding. And so I'm trying to get him in that rest and digest state. So anyway, the next one is protect your nighttime routine. So if you guys are really busy, protect your nighttime routine. If you're really busy during the day, chances are you're drinking a lot of caffeine. You're trying to just, like I said, hustle and bustle. You're going through the day very quickly. You should really look at your nighttime routine as being sacred, because this is the time that you can actually tap into that rest and digest state, also known as a parasympathetic dominant nervous system, where you can actually recover. And when you recover, you can reduce that cortisol. You can reduce, adrenaline, noradrenaline, all of these guys that, number one, can increase blood sugar, which might not be good long-term. And number two, just overall anxiety. And what happens is if you're in a very fight or flight dominant state for a long period of time, you can risk this burnout because it's just constantly taxing your central nervous system. And at some point, something's got to give. Everything's yin and yang, right? So we want this balance. We need to cause stress like we do in exercise. We cause stress and then we need to recover from that. Well, life is the same way. If you're, somebody who's very busy, you also have to consider that your day is stressful. Battling traffic at 9 a.m. in the Seattle area around here is stressful. So there's a lot of stressors that can build up. So at night, don't just go to bed. The recommendation that I always have, and I just wrote a big guide for all my clients. It was like a sleep survival guide, which is like 6 hours before what to do, to prep for bed, 2 hours before how to prep for bed, 1 hour before, and then immediately before. It was a nice long list of stuff to do. And we want to protect that. So at least 1 hour before, your goal should be, I'm getting my body ready for sleep. So you can meditate, you can do a gratitude journal. That's what students at the school do. The student handbook that I give out, there's self-reflection at the end of the day where what did I do well? What could I work on? What are my overall feelings at the end of the day? You bathe your brain in self-examination and gratitude. If you're into praying, you pray. Think of the things that you're grateful for. Think of the abundance in your life. You calm yourself down. You kill off all lights in your house, all direct light. At night, for me, the last 2 hours of the day, I go down to only diffusers. We do in my household. We have oil diffusers with these, they kind of glow. And that's about it. No screen time. If there is screen time, if I have to do something on my laptop, I've bought apps that bring the brightness down like 200% less than the standard on the Mac. And it kills off all the blue light. And I also wear blue blockers in addition to that because I still don't trust one of them. So I do blue blocking glasses and I do the blue blocking screen thing. If we're watching television, I'm, having blue blocker glasses on. And I will turn the cell light all the way down on the TV. So it's like as dark as it could possibly be and still be able to see. So these are things at least 1 hour before, start prepping your body for bed. So start winding down, try to limit screens, try to get rid of them, turn your phone on airplane mode, put it down, meditate, do a journal, try to read a good book. Again, bathe your brain in positivity before bed. Find a good book. Get the book Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude. That's a great one. Read that at night and then just get into all those types of books I recommend. It can really help you if the last things you're thinking about before you go to bed, the last hour of your day, is the whole purpose of it is to wind down and be grateful and bathe yourself in positivity. And then you rest your head on that. And that can significantly help that quality of 7 to 9 hours of sleep at night. Okay, because it's not just about laying in bed for 7 to 9 hours. We want good, deep sleep. Get your room nice and cool. Make sure it's not overly hot. And sleep well. That's very important, is protect that nighttime routine. You don't want, machine guns going off until the time you go to bed. So to finish here, what do I not recommend doing? There's a few things. Eating for convenience. If you're not prepared, if you don't plan, you plan to fail, right? Whatever that saying is. So, fast food will pop up in your week, and it can become a habit. If you want to have a cheat meal or you want to go relax on the weekend and you want to get a burger or something, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, I'm hungry. It's lunchtime. I haven't prepared. I got to just get something. Let's order some sandwich from somewhere that's going to, have a bunch of, calories in it and a bunch of processed stuff that the body's going to have a hard time breaking down and making use out of. And you don't have any skin in the game that way. There's no discipline that's required there. It's not a long-term health conscious way of living. And so if you want to be health conscious, and the whole guiding principle of this show is holistic health and fitness, we want to look at that. And so eating for convenience, over supplementing, this client that I was talking about earlier wanted to do just shakes and just drink things down. And I go, dude, you're not learning anything. You're not learning how to live a long, healthy life when you just want to cram a bunch of supplements down your throat. That is not the idea here, you guys. Don't just eat a ton of protein bars and think that you're healthy all of a sudden because there's 20 grams of protein in it. It is not healthy. It's processed stuff. Your body should be eating mostly whole, natural grown foods. That's the idea. And then the occasional protein bar, if you want, depending on what brand it is and whatnot, have it. Or if you want the occasional protein shake, I consume protein shakes and whatnot here and there. But I don't do them every day. I don't need to be crushed by them. It's not every day, meal 2 at 10 a.m. do I have a protein bar. It just, you can have them around if you want. Personally, I don't do protein bars anymore, but I do shakes here and there. But nonetheless, this whole convenience thing of like, I'm so busy, I just need to get these calories down. You got to stop doing that. That's sabotage. That's a mindset thing right there. You got to prep for it. You got to have skin in the game. When you have skin in the game, you take pride in your routine. You create a new routine. There's no easy way to get around this thing. You got to commit to it. You have to prioritize it. It's kind of like sometimes we want to commit without actually the time commitment that it takes. And so, and then also, food prep companies. I know this is a big one. They can be helpful. I get that. I understand that some of these companies that have now gotten big, it kind of started in the bodybuilding community where they would send you, your chicken and your sweet potatoes or whatever, and your green beans in a little plastic thing, and is good for prep or whatever. Now it's branched out. I'm not trying to poo-poo those companies at all, but I think that, if you're not invested in cooking your own food and figuring out a routine, like, you're helpless. You have to be able to have skin in the game. And I know that might sound harsh and that might sound abrupt, but and I don't understand your schedule. Look, man, I run 2 businesses. Okay. I'm right there with you. Okay. I have the School of Shred that I'm working on basically all hours of the day right now to get it off the ground. And then I also have my personal training business too. So there's ways around it. You want to be invested in your program. And unless you have some custom chef, that's cool, man. If you have a chef at home that's cooking you food, that's cool. I just think that there's something to having your skin in the game. It's a personal preference of mine. You can say, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with getting opinionated on this one. I go pick fruit and vegetables from my garden out back. I walk around barefoot. I'm invested in it. I'm in the game. I'm slicing my vegetables. I'm cooking them. I'm controlling all the odds. I've developed a hobby for cooking. And so now I like that. I've developed routine around cooking, put on the audiobook. It speaks life into you. So you're never going to find these times to actually work on yourself, like I'm talking about, like a good audiobook being on when you're cooking. You're never going to have these opportunities to get away from work in your busy schedule if you just try to pay people for everything. At some point, you got to participate. And that's why I'm not a huge fan of over supplementing, trying to hire out for every little thing like food prepping and all that. I think you should be involved in it, at least for the first 6 months to a year. And that's an arbitrary number, it is, but it's just some type of time that what it takes to actually prep for success. What is the actual path? You need to explore that for yourself. I'm a big fan of that. So the next thing is, don't think of food as fuel and just rifle it down. You're going to be, it's such way harder for your body to digest food when you just like chewing it 2 or 3 times and swallowing it. There is some, techniques out there that you can use. I like the chew at least 20 times and then stand up for 10 minutes at least after your meal to help the food just kind of get settled so you're not laying in a prone position. Take your time to eat your food. Chew the food. Be thankful for the food. If this was a couple hundred years ago, you might get a bison with the tribe once a week, and then you might have to hunt for a whole nother week. That's something we don't think about anymore. We've lost an appreciation for food that we need to relearn and rediscover. We need to rediscover gratitude for the food that we have in front of us. And you can do that by eating slow. Okay, eating slow. Enjoy your food. It's nourishment to your body. Get in touch with it. Use it as a meditative practice. Go slow with it, enjoy it. Don't have the TV on when you're eating food. If you really have an issue just rifling through your food, eat it, set down, chew, set your fork down. This is why social eating is actually a good thing, is because when you socially eat with somebody, you usually might have some conversation. You might take a bite or two, set your fork down, you're talking. This is one of the main reasons that the old school family dinner should be back. It strengthens the family unit, but it also slows you down so you can digest your food better. You're not causing such a burden on your digestive system. You can think it's woo-woo if you want, that's fine, but all this stuff goes together, and so anyway, that, and then decide. Don't decide on the day to work out or not. You need to have that pre-planned. You don't just go, okay, today I'm really busy, so I don't feel like working out. That's a surefire way to fail. You're gonna work out a lot less if you do it that way. I recommend commitment is important, but do you need to go and pile drive yourself in the gym every day? No, that's based off your goal. That's based off who you are and where you're at right now, your injuries, what you have, what you're bringing to the table. That's important. Who, absolutely important. Goal, absolutely important. What is your goal? You know, say if your goal is just to be healthy and you're tired today, well, just go to the gym, do some light stuff, or maybe go for a walk. But at least you have the workout time that you've scheduled during the week that you're like, you know, Tuesday I'm working out at 6:30 at night. Okay, 6:30 at night comes around, you can go to the gym and you can lift very lightly, like a 6 out of 10 effort if you feel like you're really tired. Don't do anything overly strenuous, but the habit of just going and just doing something, you start to take the stress off of, oh, I gotta work out super hard every time. You guys, it's about a lifestyle, and it's about like contracting some muscle tissue, and based off that day, if your goal is just health, there's so many goals. If your goal is just health and you just want to stay lean and healthy and, you know, keep some muscle on you, you know, just move your body. I mean, and then if you're really tired, just go for a walk. Go for a walk outside, get some fresh air, put your headphones on and listen to a good audiobook that puts, you know, speaks life into you. There's that audiobook again. But, you know, do something. And so don't just decide on the day, oh, I'm going to work out today. The body is designed to move, whether that's intense or not so intense. That's a huge continuum. You got to learn that continuum. We got to learn that not every workout is a puke worthy workout. You just go and work out. Do something. You know, another law and another guiding principle, I should say, at the School of Shred is that all movement is exercise. All movement is exercise. Okay. You know, one of the best ways that I've ever heard exercise being put is, what is exercise? It is an internal force production in response to an external force application. Well, that could be gravity and walking, you know, pulling your body down. You're doing something there. You know, there's an external force application. When you put your feet on the ground, you propel forward. So no matter what you do, you know, you can modulate that, but don't decide on the day. Have it already written in the books, and then you can auto-regulate that day how hard you go. But definitely don't decide on the day. And that's it for today. That's episode 50, you guys. So prep your food, prep your clothing, prep your supplements, prep your schedule. Make sure your schedule is good. Schedule the times you need to eat. Schedule your workout times. Meditate to create more space in your brain if you feel like you're just constantly in this anxiety state and you're always really busy. Protect your nighttime routine, because this is the time where you truly recover from physiological stress. Physiological stress can come from mental stress of being really busy at work. You know, try to stay away and consider staying away for eating for convenience. Try not to over supplement with processed stuff. Try to, you know, get skin in the game, so you're not trying to hire out all the time. There, you know, you can do that if, you know, like with that still comes responsibility. When you get those meals, slow down and eat them. Don't rifle through them. Chew your food. Be thankful for your food. Be grateful. Try to eat with loved ones and develop relationships. Number one, it's good for relationships and a happy, content life. Number two, it helps slow the way, you know, how fast you're eating down. And then what's the last one here? Decide, you know, don't decide on the day to work out. Okay. Make sure that you already have that scheduled. Just, you can moderate the intensity level that day. Exercise is a huge continuum. It's a huge continuum. What's right for somebody else is not what's right for you. Okay. Don't get caught up thinking that you have to pile drive yourself every workout just because you read some article with somebody who said that you did. You exercise. We need to relearn exercises as well. It's one of the things that students at the School of Shred do. So anyway, thank you for tuning into episode 50, baby, of the School of Shred. Everybody hung around. Yeah, I'm just reading the comments here. Awesome. Yep. You guys are great, man. If you guys are still with me, throw another flex emoji. We'll be back tomorrow, episode 51. We're on the back 50 to 100. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. The show's here every day at 9 a.m., Monday through Friday on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And then they will also be uploaded to Spotify and the podcast app. Please review the podcast. Please share this show wherever you can to try and help others get access to this information if you find value in it. The school appreciates your support. Thank you for being a student of the Shred. With that, I want you to stay strong and healthy in body. Stay relentless and energized in your spirit. Stay determined in your pursuits. Until next time, school, class is dismissed. Now go shred your day and get better in every way. We'll see you guys tomorrow.